Hey guys, welcome Musket Rebels Podcast, episode number 246. This podcast is brought to you by the PMTT, the Pro Muskie Tournament Trail. Guys, if you ever want to fish a tournament, if you want to get started in tournaments fishing, there's still one more left. Next week, Lake Vermilion, the final leg of the tournament. Go to promuskie.com and all the information is right there. Still got time to sign up. On the phone right now, I've got two gentlemen that I've known for a combined 172 years. I have Luke Ronestran, local Vermilion guide, ex-lure maker, husband of the year, and I have Jim Stella, Mr. P.
Got to make sure Kelsey is that.
Mr. PMTT himself are on the line. Guys, how we doing?
Good. How are you? Good.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm watching it rain after a wonderful day of sucking. It's
Somebody didn't catch fish today.
No, I caught one, but it's so stupid. It should be better. I'm doing something wrong. Luke's trying to tell me.
Don't have a bonfire.
Luke's telling me what I'm doing wrong, and that's annoying me.
Don't have a bonfire.
I didn't tell you were doing anything wrong.
Well, I took it that way, so let's agree to disagree.
That sounds familiar.
No, shut up. All right. PMTT, Lake Vermilion. Let's talk about it. Luke, you've been fishing there all year. You've been fishing there for many, many years, and you're unmedicated, which I don't see how that happened. How has Lake Vermilion been this year?
It's been, honestly, really consistent. I've caught muskies in a variety of ways. It seems like this year we've had some really good windows of the classic topwater and bucktail bite. And then we've obviously the lake is pretty famous now for its open water fishing. So we've got a bunch of fish that way. I would say it's been a pretty solid year. I mean, we catch fish most days we're out there. It's not like we're destroying them, but when we go out, we usually catch one or two. You get your stunk days, but it's been good. We've got quite a few nice ones too. So I'm definitely excited for the tournament next week. It'll be, I was up fishing by you this week for a few days, so I wasn't on the lake, but talked to one of my friends and guests tonight, and he said there was a lot of people out there fishing, so you could tell some guys are up there and getting ready for next week.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys are coming up. Probably a lot of guys get there on Saturday. I spoke to several guys that are going to make this like a week-long trip with the tournament. So, yeah, it'll be good. I mean, we're getting there on Tuesday, so if you feel a cold gust of wind, it means I've arrived. Luke, tell us, what's the water conditions right now on Vermilion? You got a lot of water. You got a little bit of water.
I'd say it's average, average for the lake level, and then the water temperature's got in that if I remember right, it's like 72. If the sun's out all day, it gets up to like 76. Don't have a lot of algae. We don't get like a Lake of the Woods style algae bloom on the lake, but we do get kind of a green stain to the middle and west end coming up here pretty quick, and that was just kind of starting to happen last week when I was up.
Yeah. So your water temperatures are pretty hot?
I mean, I would say it's just normal, average for the time of the year.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting this cool down right now, you think?
I dropped my boat off today, up there, but it seemed like average weather for up there. I mean, we don't ever get like the crazy warm temperatures, like the southern part of the state gets or the western part of the state gets. It's almost like we get the more of that Canadian Shield type weather up there. So we don't get a lot of really, really hot days. I mean, I probably run my air conditioning in my trailer like maybe 10 days a year or something like that.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, we're cooling down right now. Guys, if you hear that pecking, that's me on my phone trying to find what the weather forecast for. Where should I look? Tower?
Yeah, those like Tower or Cook 4, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll get it right now.
We'll look here. We'll see what it is. It's 62 degrees and it's raining. Let's see what the extended's supposed to be. We're supposed to be cooler here, like in the.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a good tournament. 60s, 70s, down to the 50s at night. So.
Yeah, looks like actually.
Yep.
Looks like this.
No rain really in the forecast early in the week.
Yeah, look like night lows. Here's 48, 51. Luke, what's that going to do?
I mean, honestly, I like August when we start to get these cool downs. Generally, get a little bit of a topwater bite going. We get some fish to start to slide like really shallow again. So, I mean, I like the conditions. August is my favorite month to fish up there. So,
why is that?
Just fishing's generally really good. The lake's wide open pattern wise. Both ends of the lake are good. That's probably the biggest reason. You get a lot of variety in the style of get a lot of variety with where and what you can catch fish on up there.
Sure. So you get a bite of different stuff. Have you noticed? Let me ask you this. I mean, because in other areas of the state, have you noticed like the fish up there reacting or actually biting on jerkbait stuff versus just the standard old bucktail topwater?
So yeah, I would say probably the last 5 years for me now. Like we catch them on a really wide variety of baits at the end of the year. Like so, I kind of just look at like the big fish that we catch every year up there, and it's kind of really like the warmer years. You'll probably have a few more big ones on bucktails, but we're getting big ones on the class. Like all your classic rubber baits. We get the big ones on the blades. Get big ones on topwaters, but. I mean, we get big ones every year on bar fighters. The drifter croc, that bait can be hot for big fish, kind of periodically here and there. Like there'll be a big one mixed in on a glider. Sometimes
your old AP lures.
Yeah, yep. Those sometimes we'll get
I still love those.
Ripping a minnow bait or something.
Stella, you haven't fished in so long. What do you have them hanging on your light cord so you can pull?
I have
turn
some
the
very
light
nice
on.
AP lures.
I'm sure you do. Do you play fetch with them with the dog in the backyard?
No, I'm not cruel to my dogs. My dogs love me.
I'm sure they do. Well, hey, speaking of the croc, that's a drifter tackle thing, driftertackle.net. Croc is explain what a croc is, Luke, because I mean that's kind of a hard thing.
It's a weird, I don't think I'll offend Ty by saying this, but, I don't know if that's, the worst best bait or the best worst bait.
Nice.
Because,
I've also been described that way.
Yes, you have, by many people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Including family members.
It's, I can only imagine. No, it's kind of a weird, but you look at it, you see like a diving riser chop bait like a suic, but it's actually more like a glider, and it's just short little 6-inch, 10-inch poles, and the biggest trick with crocs and getting them to work and catch fish on them is you actually throw it on a really light rod, like a medium heavy type rod. If you throw it on too stiff a rod, it overworks the bait and it just blows out. But if you throw it, I throw it on our Thorn Brothers, our Heavy Predator, which is kind of more of a bucktail rod, and our Heavy Predator is pretty light. It's it's way on the light side of a heavy action rod, and that's what makes them come alive and work really well. If you throw it on a heavy action jerkbait rod and you rip the crap out of it, you're going to hate the bait.
Yeah, I think that's something I think people have done. And then also talk about a bar fighter. I never could get my bar to fight. Those baits, what are they supposed to do?
I don't know. You give it short poles and long poles, and it starts, darts right to left and has a nice belly flash to it. And I catch a lot of fish and a lot of big fish on those things every year. So I just fish it like a classic dive and rise. I would say the only thing that's kind of a cool trick with those that I learned from Hammernick back in the day is like you just give it a little bit of slack before you pull it, and that just gets it like a little bit of a snap, and then you can really get like the belly flash out of them. But just like the two weights in the belly, like they have a lot of roll and a lot of flash in the water.
Okay.
Yeah, you reminded me of my
yourself?
Alabama problem. Remember, Greg?
Exactly.
You
You're
and
an
I were
Bama didn't
fishing.
Bama.
In Miami, didn't Bama, and then you're like, let me see that. And he throws it out, gives it one hit, and like a 40-incher inhales it. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Well,
Stole my fish on my bait.
exactly. But, I mean, bar fighters, I know there was a craze over them and stuff, but, you know, I had probably 4 of those things, but I don't know. I couldn't get them to work. Or maybe they were working and I didn't know it.
I would say you maybe just didn't give it a good run at the time, but
I couldn't get them to go down more than like 2 feet. Any of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine run nice. They get out of sight. Like I'll hit bottom with them in 6-8 feet of water with some of them.
Yeah.
So other like Suic, like if you don't mean Suics are awesome too. So like I really like the 12-inch Suics with like the Franken Suic weight kit in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are awesome. So if your bar fighters aren't fighting, like those will get the job done too.
Well, mine are not fighting. I might have to have you give me a tutorial, and I'm going to stand right beside you and just critique the whole thing.
I think you're uncoachable. I don't think I'm going to put myself through that.
He is very, very uncoachable.
Until you just get so frustrated that you have smoke coming out your ears. That would make me so happy.
Yeah, I've seen this guy freak out on Vermilion to the point where he was dry heaving off the back of the boat because he couldn't figure out the spot that we were on.
Well, it was frustrating. I was frustrated.
But we got a 48 hooked in the tail.
We did, and I also watched you poop over the side of the boat.
Yeah.
And give me commentary.
I thought I had a world record, man. And that reel just started screaming, burned the shit out of my thumb trying to stop it.
Nope, you had one tail hooked. Oh,
yeah, I thought I had jaws.
Sorry, Brody. Oh, the dogs are asleep. Isn't that cute? But no. So, Jim, I tell you what. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's coming up here next week? When can people sign up? When's the last time to sign up?
So this weekend, they got to sign up by this weekend. So I need Luke to send in his registration form. You know, he's been telling me he wants to do it, but
I thought I
need his info.
Jim, I did this at the Chicago Muskie Show.
No, you said you wanted to wait till the end.
No, gave me my options, and I thought I filled it. I know I filled it out, but I'll do it again.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
Don't argue. Don't argue.
So,
Jim is the
yep, so we
czar.
have this. I am the final word on this. I'm kind of a big deal.
I'm starting to figure that.
Yeah.
He's
So, yes, this weekend is the last time to sign up. So they got to sign up by Sunday night. We still have openings available. It's going to be a nice-sized tournament. It is a Friday-Saturday tournament. So that's different than a lot of other tournaments. But Minnesota regulations, because in between, the summer months in between Memorial Day and Labor Day, they do not allow you to have 2 weekend days for a tournament because they still want, the tourists and vacationers and all that to have their time on the water and not have it all taken over by tournaments. So it is a Friday-Saturday tournament.
So with that, Jim, why don't you go over a little bit of the rules here for somebody if they're new. They're sitting in Minnesota. They're right there. They're going through Sports Illustrated, looking at their Vikings. Why'd they trade Thielen?
Yeah, basically, if you follow the rules for fishing Vermilion in Minnesota, you'll be fine with the PMTT. We don't do anything special. We go by the rules of the states we're in, so you can troll. They allow one rod a person in Minnesota. So even if you're a solo team, you cannot have two rods. Minnesota does not allow that. So it would be one rod for trolling.
Mm-hmm.
The only big rule that we have implemented in the last couple of years here is the live scan. I know, a lot of people like it. It's a great tool, especially if you know how to use it effectively. But we just feel for muskie, it kind of creates kind of an unfair situation for muskie. It allows you to target them much easier than other fish. So we have just gotten rid of the live scan during tournament hours. So from the start of the tournament on Friday until the tournament ends on Saturday, you can still have it in your boat. You don't have to take it out or anything. You're just not allowed to use the live scan screens on your graph. So, that's the only real major rule that we have there.
Well, what about in this tournament here? What are you? I mean, I'm sorry, I had to step away because the dog food was boiling. That's a whole other story. The entry fee $750.
The entry fee is $700.
$700. Oh my God, you're giving a
$700.
$700.
$700. We raised it up this year $100. Hadn't raised it since like 2006. But all that extra $100 all went to payouts, and that allowed us to go to $25,000 for first place with a full field. So for our 25th year, we decided that we'd go $25,000
there
for
you
first
go.
place. So 25.
Oh my God!
Yep,
Look
so
at that.
entry fee is $700 for a 2-man team. So $350 a person. So they want to break it up.
Oh my gosh, the math coming from you.
It's right there, man.
So when are you
differential equations, calculus? I can do it all.
Oh Jesus, where are we? Where's the tournament based out of?
So tournament is based out of the Landing, which is up on the west end.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever been up there, they've got a great place up there. They've got a little thing down almost on the water, like a pavilion, and we're going to be outside there doing the whole thing. The weather looks nice. They're going to have a bartender for us down there. Thursday we'll have what was that?
That'll be a nice place to have that tournament.
Yeah. So Thursday registration is from 3 to 5, and then we have our rules meeting at 5 p.m. on Thursday. At least one team member must attend the rules meeting. Then the tournament hours are 7 to 4 on Friday and 7 to 1 on Sunday. On Friday at 5:30, we have another kind of get-together where we bring the top 10 team up. And we don't really talk about what they were doing. We just kind of, talk about the fish they caught and that stuff. And then on Saturday at 2:30, we'll do our awards ceremony where we hand out the trophies and then get more in-depth with the top 10 teams on what they actually did in that to catch their fish.
Where are we launching out of?
So we have 2 takeoff locations. On the west end, it's going to be Wake 'em Up Bay, the boat ramp there. Though there is limited parking because they have to allow slots for, other people. We are only allowed to have less than like half of the slots for the PMTT guys. But you can launch anywhere. Yep. You just have to go to either of the 2 takeoff locations. And so on the west end, it's going to be Wake 'em Up Bay boat ramp. And on the east end, it's going to be the old Bayview, which is now Tavern in the Bay restaurant. And then the Bayview RV park right there, their dock for the restaurant.
I think that we're staying in a VRBO right there near that.
Okay.
So that'll be good. I mean, I actually think we're like right next door.
Yeah, because they built the big RV park right there.
Nice.
Now where the old Bayview resort used to be.
Sure. Well, how was How for this one here, Vermilion's got the history of big fish and hating me and all satanic rituals. What's a little history on Vermilion in this PMT?
So we've been there 3 times in the past. 2006 was our first time there, and then 2015. Those were both qualifiers. 2018, we did our mega. That's that, we did that like at first it was like every 10 years, then kind of every 5 years. That was that big $80,000 tournament. We haven't done a mega in a while though, but maybe that's something we could look at again. But in the 3 times that we've been there, we've caught a total of 117 fish. 10 of those fish were in the 50s, including the largest fish ever caught in a PMTT, which was 57.5 inches. Caught there on Vermilion during the 2015 qualifier. And that fish only took 18th place. Imagine that.
Well, that
57.5 inches. He was by himself too, Corey. So that fish was probably bigger because he couldn't pinch that tail.
Who
and on
caught
a fish that size, Corey Cousins.
Oh, okay.
So,
where's Corey from?
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me, but somewhere up there. I think maybe Minnesota or Wisconsin, isn't he?
What's his favorite color?
Oh, why don't you have Corey on the show? I can tell you this stuff.
You give me his phone number, I'll call him.
Yes. He's requested that I not give you his phone number.
He's requested radio silence. No paparazzi. Yes. No paparazzi.
Yes. So, but he actually beat me out.
Well, that's not hard.
Because before that, I had the distinct pleasure of being the only PMTT angler to have ever caught a 50-inch fish and not be in the top 10. I got a 50.5 on St. Louis and took 11th place. So I felt a lot better when he got a 57 and took 18th place and took away that dubious distinction from me.
Oh, I'm sure. Luke, have you heard of any real giants this year?
There was a 56-incher caught in maybe the second weekend of the season.
Oh wow, is that open water fish?
I'm pretty sure it was a trolling fish. But I'm trying to think, the biggest we have out of there this year is a 52.5. I think Bob, the biggest one that I know that one of my friends up there got is Bob guided like a 54-incher a couple weeks ago. But there's been a lot of nice fish, a lot of 50, 51, 52 inchers getting caught.
And it has some monsters in it, man.
But
and these guys in the PMTT, they're all great sticks. So I'm expecting to have a very nice fish catch with some fish. We always get some nice fish up there.
I would think numbers. I mean, it could be numbers wise similar to that because I fished that 2015 qualifier. I mean, that was really, really good fishing. I mean, there's an absolute pile of fish caught that first day, and I don't think we'll see quite the numbers of big fish like then, but I think we'll see some good numbers. There's a lot of we're kind of in the third phase of management up there, and since 2017. We've had quite a few fish stocked compared to the previous 14 years or whatever. And a lot of those fish are now in that 30 to 40 inch range, and I'm guessing a lot of those are going to get caught. So I think we'll see some pretty good numbers for the tournament.
And I just like the fact that our anglers come from all over the place, and some of them don't really fish Vermilion, and they're not. Shy about trying something that works for them somewhere else and bringing that to Vermilion. And, and then that stuff pays off a lot of times too. So that's one of the good things about the tournaments, They call it the curse of the locals because very few times do the locals, actually come out and dominate and win.
Luke's going to come in there. He's going to have his chest out.
Luke? Yeah, Luke needs to do that. What did you in 15? Were you third place or something like that, right?
No, we were 11th or 12th or something.
I thought you were higher than that. Was it the Mega that you were higher?
No, the Mega was the Mega didn't go so well.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't it go so well, Luke?
Well, Little Man is his partner.
We did not boat any muskies. That was a problem.
Yes.
Oh.
You had to catch a muskie to fish the last day, and we failed to do that.
Well, that sucks.
But hey, that's muskie tournaments, right?
There you go.
But it was Messencombers that you came in. Was it second?
Yeah, and then way back in the day, CJ and I got a 53 and a 55 incher in one of the Hartmans and got like second place.
53 and a 55, and you get second place.
Yeah,
that just tells you the kind of fishery that is, man.
Yeah, that's pretty. There's some pretty amazing things. Like I said, I'm excited. I think it's going to be really good. I think there'll be good numbers, and
you're always excited.
It'll be a fun tournament. I'm excited to see the new medicated Greg Thomas on Lake Vermilion. I don't think
no promises.
I have never met somebody who hates a lake as much as he.
Hey, I still have the best PMTT acceptance speech at a tournament.
Was it get in the truck and follow me out of here or something?
Yeah, I go. All you're gonna see is my taillights. Let's move this thing along.
Where was that at?
Vermilion.
That was 2006 too. He caught a fish.
No, I think
he catches a fish every time he's up there too. But he hates. We did a week up there, and imagine being with him for a week. For the school Muskie Road Rules.
Most people call that a
Luke
gift.
was there. You were one of the guys that came up talking.
That's a gift.
Road Rules school.
That's a gift. Is what that is. Don't be jealous.
I got attacked by a bat.
Yes, you did.
Coming out of the kitchen.
Tony was swinging a broom at your head.
You made me guide a deaf guy.
Well, Luke had 3 days with some friends from Daiwa, didn't you, Luke?
Yeah, we sure did.
How was the English?
Those guys it's pretty good. I would say it's a lot like guiding the guys from like they pretty good broken English.
Like guiding some of the Swedes.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Like they're very good at communicating, but like fishing with the Japanese is awesome though. They are. If you think I have a good attitude, you should meet some of these guys.
No, I would hate them.
It's when you catch a muskie, it is like the greatest experience of their life. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, did you do sake bombs?
That's gotta be cool. What's that?
Did you do sake bombs in the boat?
No. They I think they forgot their sake. Like I don't think they brought any to the flag.
Did you touch bellies?
Greg would be upset there. That's one of Greg's favorite drinks. Is warm sake.
I love sake. That stuff.
Yeah, but sake doesn't like you.
It does not, but I enjoy it a lot.
Hey, are any of our friends good at drinking?
Huh?
I said, are any of our friends good at drinking?
No.
I'm getting my drink on right now, man.
Stella's one of those guys that he's like drinking.
I got a cigar. I got some Dab German beer and some nice 20-year Graham's Tawny port to go with my cigar.
Oh my God.
You never get out of control. Greg gets out of control now.
I do not.
Greg is always out of control.
I do not. I have a occasional beer, and I take my shirt off and yell at people.
I still remember my favorite Greg Thomas story.
What?
I was at a fishing show, a regular fishing show, and the only other muskie guy I knew there was Herbie. And so every night Herbie and I would sit in the bar talking about things, and we got on to talking about Thomas.
Oh, God.
And about how crazy he can be. And I'm like, he just needs to get on some medication. They can medicate him. They can bring him under control.
It's like we're trying to control a cow.
Yes. And Herbie says, yes, but then Greg wouldn't be Greg.
Exactly. See? Then I would be no fun.
So Herbie knew you.
Isn't that right, Luke?
My favorite Greg Thomas drinking story was like the first I think the first sports show I ever worked for, when we bought Muskie Buster, like Kelsey and I, we weren't even old enough to drink.
I wasn't either.
We're
because he's your age too.
I think it was the Milwaukee Muskie show, and I can't. We were like, her and I were just up like making lures, and probably because we were freaking always behind, messing around with something, and we ordered some pizza like at midnight, and I had to go down to the front desk, or went down to get the pizza, and all of a sudden here comes Greg just like wandering down the hallway. And I don't know, I can't remember who did it to you, but you must have like passed out, and then somebody got after you with like a Sharpie.
Nancy Eldrup, yes.
Painted him up like a little Indian boy.
And he walks around, he turns the corner, and like goes to the front desk, and the lady just looks at him and is like, ah!
Well, I mean, I didn't know that that's not how you act in Milwaukee. I just assumed that's how people all went around. I was just saying hi to her. As I had.
Yeah, he didn't. He's walking around not even knowing that he's painted up.
Oh no!
Doesn't have his shirt on. I think he was like in his underwear.
I was like, Kelsey, I think that's Greg Thomas.
That's how I love to get. That's how I like to meet people wearing a shoe as a hat. That's
when you used to have that little red truck with the white stripe.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Like a Datsun or something?
I don't know. It was probably
No, Luke had it.
Luke had red. You had a little
red truck with a white stripe.
You had a Dodge, right? Little red Dodge.
Yeah, that was a great truck for a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I don't think that thing was 4-wheel drive.
I know it went over things.
Whose
shouldn't.
wedding were we at that we had to have you like jump over the back fence to get you into the bars because you were underage?
Me?
No, Luke. At somebody's wedding.
I got pulled in Milwaukee.
They had like a fence in the back of the outside bar.
At Milwaukee, Tony pulled me through the window to get in the bar there. I remember that. So.
Are you and Luke the same age, or are you a year older, Greg?
He's like 3 months older than me.
Yeah, no, we're basically.
Okay, so you guys are right around the
same age.
You guys make me feel old that I knew both of you before you could even drink.
Well, you should.
You know what a funny age thing was like, so all of us hung around, and like Chad Kane and Ty, and like I knew that Ty was a few years older than us, but like I always thought Chad was like exactly our age, or even like 2 years younger, right? So then one night, like at 2 a.m, we're just like talking, and he like mentions his age. I was like, no way, like you're not 8 years older than me. He's like, no, I am. I'm like, no way. I literally made him get his driver's license out, and I was like, oh.
And I'm 5 years older than him.
Are you really? God, where did it go?
I turned double nickel this summer.
No shit. Are you fishing this week? You should catch a double nickel.
I should.
Oh my God, you are. God, I know.
Someone would guide me to one.
I know old people. All right, so let's finish this up here, guys. Lake Vermilion, Stella. When can be the last day somebody could sign up? Do you have to be like
Sunday and then Monday if it's in the mail?
Sunday or Monday?
Because like Tim will go to the P.O. box on Monday morning, so if there's stuff Monday morning in the P.O. box, we'll still put you in.
All right. Well. Good deal. Lucas, you got anybody you want to plug or anything?
No, I would say we just got done with that Daiwa product testing and product development deal up on the Lake of the Woods there, and got to see some new stuff coming for reels that are pretty awesome, and we were playing around with those the Nashini, the Daiwa Bessie lures is kind of a spy bait. And those are really cool. And then obviously the Thorn Brothers, our new stealth line of rods are awesome. That's what I've been fishing all this year. Got to test those last year. They're very nice. Our probably like the flagship rod in the stealth line is the heavy action. It's like a true heavy action rod. It's more kind of more in line, falls right in between like the extra heavy Predator and then the heavy Predator is a really cool rod. You can do a wide variety of it. They are 10-foot one-piece blanks, and they're very lightweight, have a great action. Check those out. We have some really cool wind foregrips and wind rear grips for those, and we can do we have kind of a stock color pattern. Like you can just come into the store and just buy one right off the shelf, or else we can write you up and do custom colors, put your name on it, trim bands, the whole works. But check those
That's
out.
Cool. You gotta yell at Ben. I thought for sure I'd see Ben and Andy. Isn't Andy Vermilion Andy's lake?
Andy Ham?
Yeah.
Andy's lake's wherever he decides to go fishing.
But he would always ask me every year, "Are you going to do Vermilion? Are you going to do Vermilion?" And
yeah, I don't know.
They did Leech last year. I'm surprised they didn't sign up this year.
They might. You never know. Hey, maybe the check's in the mail.
Hey, you got to do it by Sunday. Yeah.
Monday morning at the P.O. box. He might be walking it down there right now. You don't know. You don't know his life. He might be on a rascal, just driving down 94.
This is gonna be an entertaining week and an entertaining tournament. I'm looking forward to this. This will be a good time.
Yeah, I haven't seen you since March.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
No.
I'm glad Luke got to see me this week. It was a really nice reunion.
He was missing you
for 7 minutes on the dock. I could tell I could tell he was done already and he wanted to leave.
It was like some things just never change.
Yeah.
He needed like the old Batman from the old Batman cartoons, the anti-shark spray. That's what I felt like he was getting ready to spray me with.
I just
back
laugh.
home.
It's just like how things have changed in the last 20 years. It's like I'm like literally.
I know you grew up and became an adult,
and well,
kids and everything, man.
Not only that, Greg Thomas is pulling up to a resort on Lake of the Woods to pick up his guide for the day. Like that, it's like a bad dream.
Lucas, you're spreading rumors. All right, well, guys, check out muskihunter.com. Make sure you check out muskieroadrules.com. We'll put up new dates and stuff for schools and clinics this winter. Also, go to promuskie.com. So if you want to fill out, print out the form there. Jim Stella would love to see your smiling face this weekend, I'm sure. And you could see Jim. Anybody that sees Jim, feel free to call him any four-letter word you want. He enjoys it. So, and also, right before I got the Lunge and Lures text line, make sure you text Tony. Tony needs a text or a picture, whatever.
How is Tony?
Tony's great. I mean, picture of health. I mean, that man, he's...
I talked to him last. He was in Florida.
Well, that's probably about right. I don't know where he's at. I think he's in Cincinnati right now with the grandson. So, but I know he's leaving on Sunday to go up to Vermilion. They're staying at the casino. But do our Lunge and Lures text line, 606-776-6570. Again, 606-776-6570. Lunge and Lures, lungeandlures.com. Tons of baits, crankbaits, spinners, all they got. The Alley Cat series of baits. Make sure you check that out. Guys, I am glad to get a hold of you all finally. We got this done. And, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you. Hell, I'll see you next week.
I can go back to getting my drink on.
Nice.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
All right.
Say hi to Kelsey for me, Luke.
We'll do. We'll see you guys.
See you, buddy.
All right, bye.